All right. All right. So, what's up there, YouTube? Okay. So, today I was going to talk to you guys about a little bit about music and about, just general stuff, but mostly music. You guys, I've had several people ask me, what is all these monitors and all this stuff for that you're using in the background, because most people just have the one monitor and then you have like maybe two, but I've got like this big one here, another big TV there, and another widescreen monitor over here. So basically, I've had a lot of people ask me what the heck is going on with all these monitors and all this gear. Several people have sent me private messages and stuff like that, and I've sent pictures, and they're like, I said, well, I use this stuff for editing and for music production when I create music, and these are the tools that I use to create music. And my guitars, I've got another guitar over there on the wall, my electric guitar. This is my Positive Grove Spark amp right here. I don't know if you can see that in the shot. These are my monitors. This is my Motu. I'll go through a list here. Let me go through a list of things that I purchased and why I purchased them, and then what I'm making with them. So I can play you a little sample of some stuff that I've been working on today. I've just been goofing off with making some stuff this morning. So basically, I have music playing. I can turn this music down in the background here. So this is basically music that I've created, and I'm using this, my Atom SQ. Let me go through my list of stuff. Let me turn this down. Stop the recording real quick. Anyway, I'll explain what I have here and what I do and what I'm making and the reasons why I purchased the gear that I have and everything to have to do with making music or making videos. See, everybody's out there searching for the best, 4K or 8K camera that they can get. And I don't know if you know this or not, but 90% of video is audio. So really, as long as the picture looks good, you could have the best looking picture in the world, and if the audio sounds terrible, nobody's going to want to watch it. But I have had more complaints when I first started my channel about audio than I ever did about video. I never had a complaint that people, you look blurry, or it's not focusing on you fast enough. But if the audio is crackling, or my voice isn't coming out right, or sound is coming from one speaker and not the other, that's the first comment I'll get on my video. So it seems like, to me, a lot of people that create videos, and a lot of people that let me turn this down a little bit because I'm quite close to the microphone. A lot of people that create videos, and a lot of people that are in the industry or in the video production, don't think about audio enough. And this has nothing to do with video production. Really, it kind of does, because I can make music for videos, for the video production part. But that's not the whole reason why I bought this. I didn't buy this equipment for creating videos. I bought this equipment for making music. So, and I'm going to go through a list here and show you why I bought the equipment I bought. And let's do that right now. First up, you have the Roland JD-Xi. This is my baby, my little... Oh, there's something stuck under there. This is my JDXI. It has these little things that go over, This thing is in like brand new condition, because I don't travel with it. I don't take it on the road. It just sits right here on the desk, and I use it for creating my songs. It's actually playing. It's actually... It's hooked into the USB's connected, so it's detected the keyboard as a sound device. Anyway, it's acting as a MIDI device. I was like, why is this thing playing? I've disconnected the audio out because I was using it. I plug it into my adapter. Let me go through this stuff one at a time. So this is a Neat Worker B microphone that I use, and it's on I forget the brand of this stand. it's a pretty decent mic stand. I don't like these kind here. I want one that can swing out so I can put the microphone right here. No matter which way I put this, it doesn't come out where it's right down here, like underneath my, so it's not in the way of when I'm, like, it's right in my face when I'm trying to do stuff. But I haven't found a stand that I like that does that. Anyway, so first thing, worker bee, mic stand, decent XLR cable, going to the Motu M2. Okay, the next thing is the Roland JD-Xi. Why did I buy this? Well, I bought this because this thing's ridiculous. This is not a toy. So it looks small and it looks like a toy. And a lot of people are like, what is that little keyboard? What is that little, what is that little toy right there? This is no toy. This is a full 16 steps sequencer. It's a both digital and an analog keyboard with filters, LFOs, a bunch of effects. You got drums, you got digital synth 1, digital synth 2, drums, and analog synth. You can create entire songs on this thing. And you can hold shift and turn the songs and change the, like, you can, there's a lot that you can do on this. Now, you can't do as much as you can on a full-fledged huge sequencer like on a computer. So that's the whole reason why we go to the next step. So this thing is, if I'm wanting to play around, do a little keyboard notes and stuff, I'd rather play this keyboard than this as a keyboard. This works as a keyboard, but I'd rather play these keys. And honestly, in reality, I'm wanting a larger keyboard, like a full-size keyboard, to actually learn more piano on. So I can't, these are whole, I can hold the C and I can do this, the notes in here with this, with my C key. This is C right here. That's C by the 2. I can hold the C key. I can play, but my fingers are like right close together for everything in here. So this is, it's fine for playing a few little chords, a few little notes, but anything like major piano playing, you're going to want a full-size keyboard. But if you're just using it to create music or make drum beats and make all that stuff and sequence and do a bunch of cool little like 80s techno songs and stuff, this is the king right here. This thing is really, really good. This is a very, very good keyboard, and I'm very happy that I bought it. I was watching several videos on YouTube about keyboards because back in the day, me and my friends in the band, we used to play, I played guitar and my friend Bruce always played the keyboards, and I was always into the keyboards. We'd go to the music store and I'd listen to the O1W and the Roland D50s and, Korg M1s and all these cool keyboards and the Roland Junos and all these different things. And I was always real big on like the keyboard stuff with my buddy Bruce, and like we would go, we had a little Alesis sequencer and we had it hooked into the keyboards and the drums, and I'd go in there and make little songs at night and stuff, and I really enjoyed doing it. I could sit for hours and just play around making beats and songs and little keyboard parts. But I want to learn more about actually playing the piano, so I've been doing classes and stuff on this, but these keys are kind of small, so I'm going to buy a bigger one. So that's number one. JDXI, they're about $350-400 online used. You can't get these new anymore, I don't think you can buy these new. You can buy a new one off of eBay, but this one has the microphone. I've got the microphone with the boom that goes in it, so you can do the vocoder stuff. It's sitting over there, I think. I was just looking for it. Anyway, I've got the microphone that you can play, you can speak into it and sing through it. It's got all the little dials and all the cool stuff. It's a pretty cool little instrument. Next is my Positive Grid Spark over here. That's my little practice amp for playing my guitar. Now, I could just plug my guitar directly into my thing and use all the effects that I have at my disposal on the thing. But this thing here there's an app on the phone that connects to it. It's got literally all the tons of sounds and different pedals and all this different stuff, and it's all built into the amp, and the amp sounds really good. Now, for Christmas, my buddy gave me, let me real quick. This is my little guitar tuner. It's a little, I like to have, I like the tuners that are built in, like the Spark has a tuner and the Zoom has a tuner, and I have a little clip-on tuner, but this one's so much nicer. I can leave this down on the floor. I can step on it, tune real quick, click it back over, just continue playing. And it's I can read it from a distance. It's got a nice big thing. I got this on, this is the Stage Right. I bought it off of Amazon. I think it was like $40 or something like that. $30 or something. But it's a decent little big LCD, so you can see the thing and tune it real fast. It's fast and easy to tune your guitar. Then I've got the Zoom G1X4 guitar pedal. The Zoom G1X4. Buddy of mine that I work with gave me this for Christmas, and I was frankly shocked. I like it for the looper feature. The sounds aren't bad. Honestly, the sounds are better on the Spark than they are on this, but this has some decent sounds, and what I like is I can use a sound from this and then go to the Spark, and I can use this for the looper, and then I can also, like if I say I wanted chorus and I didn't want to take up one of my pedal spaces on the Spark, because you've only got so many pedal space, I could use the chorus on this and then free up a space on there. So if I wanted to add a bunch of effects, that's kind of cool to be able to, and it's got an expression pedal, so I can do the wah-wah and all that stuff. Next is my Q5 monitors. I need new monitors. These are little 4.5 or 5 inch powered monitors. These are Q5. I bought these, God, I like to say like 8-10 years ago, something like that. They were discontinued, and I bought them new in the box for like $200 or $300 or something, and they were like $1,000 speakers. They were $500 a piece. They're like right at $1,000 for these speakers. They're digital and analog. They're really nice speakers, but they're kind of small for here. My room is big enough, and I'll have a separate room for music room. So this actually could be a little bit bigger speakers, and they're a little low. These need to be up about this high, but I put these little stands because I expected to upgrade the speakers and get a bigger speaker anyway, like an 8-inch or something like that. Okay, next is my Atom SQ. This is the Presonus Atom SQ. I knocked over my worker beat, my little B microphone. This is a MIDI controller. So this has MIDI, right? But I can see the lights flashing over here when I play something. So it's got little sound. This is actually controlling it, but this has transport control, so I can play the right from the timeline and record and everything right through here. It's got a little screen here, but it's not just a little screen. You can go left and right. It's got like 4 pages of stuff, and you can go for each thing, for song, instrument, editor. You can open up stuff in here, so it automatically changes the stuff up there. Like if I go to song, editor, user has a user one, but I'm not using it. You can go left and right. You can do all kind of stuff with this thing. You can open windows, close windows. You can do the drum layout, like it's got drums or keyboard. You can do all different kinds of stuff. It controls everything in the Studio One app that I use for recording, and it has a 16 pad sequencer on it, but you can easily left and right through the sequences. So I have 63 up here right now. See, it goes to 63, which is one thing you can't do on this. This only has 16. That's it. So you got 16, and then you can favorite 4 and switch to the next one, but it doesn't actually do the same thing that this does, which is you can't set an arrangement. It's like, so I got variations to each one, so I can set variation 1, variation 2, variation 3, and variation 4 on this, and then link them together and play all 4 in a row. So I could have 64 beats in 4 variations. So it's 64 beats, 64 beats, 64 beats, 64. I mean, you can basically do an entire song and have something different in each 64. It's a lot more advanced. The sequencer on here, you can open up this thing here. You can control all different kinds of stuff with this. I can set the thing, I can do the song, I can change instruments, I can go to I can open the inspector, You can open stuff up. You can open the console. So I can open the console, the mixer, everything right from here. Change the volume and everything. I can go to instruments. You can add instruments and everything right from this control device. It controls everything on here. So you're going to add, like, for music creation on the thing, it's fine, but I would not learn on this keyboard because this is really hard. I'm having a hard time learning piano on this keyboard because it's so small. Because I need to be able to stretch my fingers out and play. So I was thinking of maybe getting the Artura key 88 or something, or 61, like a 61 key Artura MIDI controller. The thing is, though, I don't know if I really need a MIDI controller because I have all this in the Atom SQ. It has transport controls. This is a fantastic. It's got all the pads. When I change to instrument, the pads change to the basically off the. So basically the pads change and the colors change based on what, I don't know if you can see it or not. That overhead light went off. I don't care right now. But anyway, the colors change on the pads based on the instrument, and you can set all the instrument in impact and change the colors however you want. So you can have all the ones that sound like that as a different color. So you can spot those when you're playing the pads. You can automatically change the colors. Now the Arturo comes with pads on it, but those pads can also be remapped to do different things on the keyboard. So I think that would be a pretty good way to go. And I like buying quality products. If I'm going to buy something, I want to buy something that's, if I'm going to buy an instrument or something like that, I'm going to buy something that's high quality. I'm not going to buy something that's a cheap toy that's like a piece of, junky toy. But so this is my MIDI controller / keyboard drum pad thing, and it's got a slider here. You can slide up and down. This thing's awesome. Look it up. It's the Atom SQ. I use Studio One, so it just makes sense for me to have this in Studio One because it's already pre-mapped and everything for Studio One, and it does a lot of stuff, a lot of control, more than I'm used to. It does copy and paste and all that stuff in here, easy and quick. I'm more of a clean rhythm guitar player, so I don't use a whole lot of distortion. I like to put a little bit in there depending on the song. So next is so the stands I made. These are basically, these are plastic PVC. That's a PVC 4-inch PVC coupling, painted black. This was all white. Then these two black things were like grates or something that in landscape area, and I bought them and stuck them together. I saw, just stuck a tube in them, and I made stands, and they look like really nice computer stands, but they're just DIY. I'll do stuff like that. I'm not spending $150 on or $200 on a set of stands. Just put some rubber underneath the speakers. It's on a glass desk. I don't hear anything. I need room treatment behind here, so I'm looking into that next, but I don't care about that. But anyway, so my next thing is my Motu M2. This is a solid input sound card device. What it is you have to have a way to take your stuff into the computer when you're working with audio or video, just like video and stuff like that. Video, you just have the memory cards, but for audio, you got to take it into the computer. And when you take it in, you have to have a high quality digital audio converters, a high quality headphone amp, all that type of stuff. And that's what this gives me, is the really high quality input device. It has two audio inputs on the front, a microphone or musical instrument. I should have gotten the M4 now that I have it for a while, because I could come out of this keyboard. Now I don't know if I'm going to even keep this keyboard, because I might just get the other 61 key and control most of the stuff through MIDI anyway. I don't know. I really love this keyboard, but maybe somebody without all the keyboard and all the stuff for a keyboard would be better off with this, because that way they can make the music right on here. I'm thinking of the young kid, he's 18 years old, doesn't have a lot of money for an expensive keyboard and all the software and all the stuff. This $350 for this keyboard, and he plugs his headphones in it, and he's making music right away. So to me, that might be a better use of this keyboard, is for somebody that doesn't have the stuff. Like, I got it when I didn't have all this stuff, but I've always had a decent computer and stuff because I do the video editing. So having this would be good for somebody else, maybe. So maybe I'll sell it, and because it's just like, literally, it's like new. It doesn't have a scratch on it. It's been sitting here on my desk for years, and I play it and I do stuff on it, but none of the buttons are wore out or chipped or anything. It's never been traveled. It came here, and that's it. But it would be nice to have the audio inputs on the back, but if I get rid of this, I don't really need the audio inputs on the back, so I'd be fine with the M2. So the M2 has 2 in the front, and then audio XLR outs for the speakers, or RCA outs for the speakers. It's got both. But the dials on this Motu, I noticed right off the bat when everybody talked about it, when everybody was talking about this for the reviews that I read, they said that the dials are like really high quality. The screens on it, the screen right there, I don't know if you can see it. The LED UV indicators are really good. They're really accurate, and I can see exactly how close I am, how far, how loud, if I'm peaking. I can see it from a distance. Like, I noticed I was peaking a little bit back there, so I have a loud voice, and I'm talking like directly into this microphone. But anyway, it has 48 volt phantom power for both jacks on the front, but it's buttons. They're physical button on the front, and I like that. I saw the Antelope audio. Some other guy was talking about, oh, get the Antelope audio, and and then he showed going into the software and turning the 48 volt phantom power on and off, and I thought, I don't want to go into the software. I plug in my guitar, I unplug that and plug in something else. I don't want to have to go into the software and I want to hit the button. So that's the reason why this is facing this way and not facing my computer screen and stuff over there, and my keyboard and mouse are way over there. My mouse is way over it's over there. I don't want to touch the mouse. I don't want to touch the keyboard and mouse when I'm making music. And I'll tell you guys why. The reason why is because I started out, music to me, when I'm creating music, I have to have a feel for the instrument. I have to have a feel for the touch has a lot to do with creating music. How you feel about stuff has a lot to do with creating music. Music is an expression that has to do with the connection to the instrument, to the thing. So when I'm playing my guitar, it's not like I'm in a bubble. I've got my fingers on the strings. I'm playing I'm hand picking, I'm using a pick, I'm touching it, I'm feeling the resonance of the wood and the feeling of everything. So when I'm creating music, it's not like creating video. When I'm recording video and I'm making a video right now, I'm not touching the camera, I'm not feeling the camera make the video. You know what I mean? So when I get done creating the video, then I edit it, and I do the same thing here. When I'm done making the music and I've created it and everything in here, if I want to edit parts or something like that, yeah, I can use the keyboard and mouse. I can turn over there, but I'm done making the music. So while I'm making the music, I like to have my hands in a place right here on the control surface, making the thing. It's a feeling you get when you're trying to make it. That's why I'm facing this way. I'm concentrated on the music. I'm making the music. I'm listening. I'm listening to every little thing. I'm listening. I'm watching on the screen where the beats are. I'm listening to how the things are changing. I'm changing the filters. I'm rotating dials. I'm doing things to create the music. So that's why I'm facing this direction when I'm making music and not facing the computer screen. That was one of the things if this wasn't connected, if this was in a separate room, I would make a separate desk, separate room, and have this over there and just have the screen up and have the computer off to the side, just like I do now. So to me, that's what making music. Now, when it comes to producing and create, and mixing and all that type of stuff, I'm fine doing it on the computer. But then I can put it on that other screen and mix away and do stuff and change levels and stuff like that after the music's created. So that's my Windows PC. You guys know about it. There was a guy on YouTube here that I watch his channel. He's one of the music people on there, and he was saying that back in the day, Apple was so much better than Windows for audio and video. He basically said audio, but I just don't buy it. So sorry, sorry Apple fans, but I don't buy it, and I'll tell you why. So back in the 1990s, sorry, I had to answer my granddaughter. She asked if she could have some spaghetti when she gets home. Of course you can have some spaghetti when you get home. So anyway, back in the 90s, I was editing videos on my computer, Windows PC, editing video. And I had did a job for Yamaha golf cars where I had gone and recorded a bunch of video of the CEO and all these people from Yamaha in front of the cars, and a lot of the footage I had to shoot a green screen. They were in their office. They don't want to have just the office background, so I threw up a green screen and shot some green screen footage with my JVC DV500, a digital video camera. Anyway, so I had done a bunch of stuff for them, and I was editing the video, and I had a guy in charge of advertising came over. He said, "Hey, can I come over and help you go through the video so we can put it in?" I said, "Yeah, come on over." So he came over and sat down in my office, actually at the time, and I had the two screens, two old Sony Trinitron monitors, the big 21-inch things, weighed friggin' 500 pounds, two of those sitting on the desk. And I had a TV, I think it was on the wall. I think I had a plasma or something like that, like a 40-inch plasma TV on the wall like this, but it was smaller, obviously, because we didn't have anything this big. It would have been $10,000 for a monitor that size back then. But anyway, I had a 43-inch plasma TV on the wall. And I was sitting there editing the footage, and I was using Canopus DV Storm, which if you edited video, you knew what that was. And I had that in my computer, and I had multiple hard drives in a RAID array, so I was dragging the clips to keep the speed up. And I had it on the timeline on Storm Edit, a program called Storm Edit, which Final Cut X copied. Just to let you know, this was back in the 90s. They had the magnetic timeline back then on Storm Edit. When you drop the clip on, it automatically moved the clips down. You didn't just drag it and put it in and right over it like in Premiere. It automatically moved the clips around, so you could very quickly just throw the clips down the timeline. You want one in the middle, plop it in the middle, just move everything down. Wasn't really good for audio sync, but back then we were just recording it together and linking them together. Anyway, either way. Anyway, so I had all these clips on the thing, and I had the green screen behind them, and I was just putting different. I opened up my Chroma Key app on the Storm, and I was dropping in the different background. And I said, "What background do you want? Can I get a shot of the flag out front during this?" And I plopped it on. I hit the space bar, played. I said, "How's that look?" And he said, "Wait, you didn't have to render that?" I said, "No." He said, You didn't have to render anything. You just hit play and it starts playing to the TV?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "My God, what is this? What is this system?" He could not believe it. He'd been to production houses all over the world, all over the country. He went to production houses in California and Paris, and he shot footage in Paris. This is the head of advertising for Yamaha. So he'd been at all these, he'd sat in the studios with tons of commercials where they make commercials in tons of studios. And he said this is the first time he ever saw somebody be able to drop in a background in Chroma Key, instantly Chroma Key it out, hit the space bar with no rendering, and have it just play back out. He could not believe it. He literally was in shock. Every time you brought clips into Premiere or Final Cut or Avid or anything like that, you had to render them out. You had to render the clips, and then if you added any kind of color correction or anything, you had to render that out and wait for it to render, and then it would play. In Canopus DV Storm, you plop the clip down and it started playing. You can hit the space bar and just drop it on there and it would play right through. It didn't have to render anything. There was zero rendering with that program. If anybody can remember back in the day with the Canopus DV Storm and DV Rex Edit and Storm Edit used to be able to just, yeah, they were simple, but they were extremely fast, and they were the only company that allowed you to just throw on whatever you wanted. Transitions, effects, filters, anything. You put it on there and it would just play right out. It would play instantly with no rendering, zero rendering. When you rendered when you exported the file, but even then you could export to tape and it would play directly off the timeline right back out to the tape, and I could hand him a copy right then without having to render anything, the DV tape, and he could take the DV tape right to the studio and play it right out as a commercial. Right when he was done with no rendering, just instantly, it would just queue up the tape, start recording, hit play, and it would start playing right off the timeline. It would not render anything. So for all the people that said Apple was ahead of them, Apple was way behind back then. And it was way behind when you had, sure, if you went to the store and bought a gateway computer, yeah, you couldn't edit the footage like that. Everything you had to have would have to be rendered. You got Premiere Lite or whatever, and everything needed to be rendered, or the full version of Premiere. I started with Premiere 4.2, I think it was. Everything had to be rendered. But if you actually were in the business and got into this stuff and you bought Canopus hardware, you got the hardware. It was $1,000 for the hardware, and it came with the software, and you used that. There was nothing in comparison on the Apple that I can remember. You guys tell me if I'm wrong, but there was nothing in comparison that Apple had that could play out everything in real time like that. There's nothing. I never saw anything. And I tell people, no, I don't have to render. They couldn't believe it. I would actually have to show them that, no, you don't have to render. It plays everything out in real time. You don't have to render anything. So and it never crashed. I never ever crashed. I would render 2 hour. I would have 2 hour timelines playing out and render out the file to a 2 hour timeline with tons of clips, hundreds of clips, and it would never crash. I never had it crash. So there's that. So anybody says that Apple was ahead of it back in the day for video and photo was wrong. Sorry. Depending on what you got. Yeah, if you bought an off-the-shelf store-bought PC, yeah, the Apple would probably be better. Just facts. Apple would probably be better than every off-the-store shelf PC. But if you built an editing computer and knew what you were putting in it and built it based on the Canopus DV Storm or DV Rex RT or whatever it was that you had at the time, you built it for that you bought from Video Guys, and you put the thing together and it was to spec and you had all the fast hard drives, it would play everything back in real time that you couldn't do on any other computer. None. There wasn't one out, unless it was a dedicated box. Like there was some Avid boxes, I think, that would play some stuff, but not everything like that. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that. You know, when I see people say stuff that's not entirely true, it's true for the most part. Like, I'm not saying this guy was wrong, but for the most part, like 90%, he was right. For the average computer person buying a computer, like Apple was way far ahead. But for the specific thing, like even now, I don't even use Premiere anymore. I use DaVinci Resolve. I changed to DaVinci Resolve. This video is edited on DaVinci Resolve right now because I decided to change something up. I tried Edius. Edius doesn't work with the AMD hardware. It doesn't leverage the AMD graphics card for rendering H.265 files. So I tried DaVinci Resolve. It seems a lot faster. I'm going to just use it. I'm going to use something else. And maybe the next version of Edius, they add those features, and I'll go back to Edius because I really liked editing in Canopus or Grass Valley Edius. But for now, I'm using DaVinci Resolve, and I'm editing this in DaVinci Resolve because it's kind of cool. Anyway, I'm not brand loyal to anybody or anything. I pick anything, and if there's something better, I'll say it. If it's not as good, I'll say it. So there's that. Anyway, have a good day, YouTube. I just thought I'd tell you about some of the stuff I was doing, and I'm gonna play the song I was creating and put some B-roll of the different stuff as I talk about it over this here at the end. So take a look at it. Let me know if you like this video. Give it a thumbs up, thumbs down if you don't. If you have any questions about any of the gear I talked about today, shoot me message me down below. Say, hey, what was that? How does that thing work? Can you do this? Can you do that? You know, does it have X, or does it do this, or does it do that, or you're wrong about Apple, that's not true, or whatever. So just give me a shout. Let me know what you guys think. Holler at you later. Take it easy, YouTube. Have a good weekend, whatever's left of it.